Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Nur Invita Camelia and I'm from Group 8. So today I will explain about developing instructional materials. First, the delivery system and media selection. A delivery system is specified and the instructional strategy has been developed, including clustering and sequencing, learning components, students grouping, and tentative media selection. There are three factors often cause compromise in media selections, and the delivery systems such as first, availability of existing instructional materials, second, productions and implementation constraints, third, the amount of facilitation that the instructor will provide during instruction. Next, availability of existing instructional materials. Sometimes existing materials are an attractive alternative to going through the development and production process. Existing materials could be substituted for plain materials on a scale ranging from a single motivational sequence in one lesson to an entire course or curriculum. And next, productions and implementation constraints. Media formats and delivery systems that look expensive are expensive. Cutting productions corners to save money will usually not impact students' learning, but it will impact students' attention and perception of relevance and authority. Novice designer who have not worked with complex media often severely underestimate that the cost of hiring commercial productions and equally underestimate the expertise, infrastructure, and times requirements for in-house productions. Sometimes, after development is complete, the cost of duplications, distributions, and maintenance can be just as prohibitive as unanticipated productions costs. The key is to anticipate such as constraints by due diligence during the learning context analysis, and to maintain an open, flexible viewpoint when entering the materials production space. The last, amount of instructor facilitation. Instructor facilitation is a particular features of classroom instructions that has implications for how we develop instructions materials. Next, you can see in table 9.1 in my materials. The table is about level of instructor felicitations in three models of distance learning. And next, components of an instructional package. First, instructional materials. The instructional materials contains the content either written, mediated, or facilitated by an instructor that a student will use to achieve the objective. And this includes materials for the major objective and the terminal objective, and material for enhancing memory and transfer. And the material may also include information that the learners will use to guide their progress through the instruction. Next, assessment. All instructions materials should be accompanied by objective tests or by product or performance assessments. This may include both pre-test and post-test. And the last, course management information. There often is a general description of the total package, typical code, and instructor manual that provides the instructor with as overview of the materials and show how they might be incorporated into an overall learning sequence for students. Next, And next, selecting existing instructional materials. The next step following the development of the instructional strategies is to determine whether there are existing materials that fit your objective. In some contents area, you will find an abundance of materials available, either superficial or greatly detailed, which are not really directed to the target population in which you are interested. A recent development in selecting existing instructional materials is the shareable content objective reference models, or SCROM, which is a set of e-learning standards for interchangeability of learning objectives. Next, goal-centered criteria for evaluating materials. This category of criteria is focused on the content of the instruction, and your instructions analysis and your instructional analysis document will provide a basis for determining the acceptability of the content in various instructional materials. Specific on this area include congruence between the content in the material and your terminal and performance objective, and then accuracy of content, conference, and completeness, and next, authority, accuracy, currency, and the last, objectivity. And next, learner-centered criteria for evaluating materials. The second area of consideration is the appropriateness of instructional materials for your target group. Specific criteria include the appropriateness of the materials for your learners. First, vocabulary and language level. 2, development, motivation, and interest levels. And third, background and experience. And the last, special language or other needs. Okay, next, learning center criteria for evaluating materials. Your instructional strategy can be used to determine whether existing materials are adequate as is, or whether they need to be adapted or changed prior to use. Materials can be evaluated to determine whether, first, pre-instructional materials are include. Example, performance objectivities, motivational information activities, and pre-required site skills. The second is the content sequencing is correct and presentation is complete, current, and tailored for learners. Third, student participant and cognitive practice exercise exist. Fourth, adequate feedback is included. 5, appropriate assessments are available. And 6, adequate follow-through directions are included for enhancing memory and transfer. And 7, delivery system and media normals are appropriate for the objective and the learning context. And the last, adequate learners guidance is provided to move students from one component or activity to the next. The instructional strategy should be used to evaluate each potential resource. Context-centered criteria for evaluating materials. The appropriateness of existing materials for your instructional and performance context should be evaluated. Criteria within the context category include the authenticity of the materials for your context and learners, and the flexibility of the materials for your settings and budget. More specific, within the feasibility category, you should examine technical quality of existing materials, including packaging, graphic design, and typography, durability, legibility, audio and video quality, and when appropriate, interface design, navigations, and functionality. And okay, that's all from me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See ya.